Welcome to the Land Your Bet Sports Betting Show. Week 12 had a little absence from Dietz, but we got the man back.
I'm sick. What do you want me to do?
Look,
come
man.
on here. Like I was so sick that I could have gotten you sick just through video stream. I was that contagious. It was
look,
brutal.
you have a child. The child's going to be in daycare. You're going to get sick. I'm
was
getting
fine.
ready for it. Yeah.
I have no idea how that operated. She comes in and she's like, and then meanwhile we're like, oh, we have the bubonic plague. So I'm amazed that I'm here today, but I'm happy to be here.
I'm happy to have you.
Let's keep rolling some GD
winners,
eh?
Yeah, I mean, I'll say for you, I told everybody last week you went 6-0 in the week prior. I really like your picks this week as well. I'll go ahead and toot my own horn as well. I give out 12 of them. 12 of them, and we went 8 for 12 with 4 plus money bangers. Hit the touchdowns. Got a little, not lucky. I took Anthony Richardson for a tutty instead of Jonathan Taylor. That was back and forth, but you got the +2, the 200 for AR on that one.
That's right.
Some really nice tutty plays that really carried us, and then I followed up with a couple other things there, but feeling pretty good about it. So we're gonna roll into this week. We're gonna kick it off with the tutties because we know that's what everybody loves. So let's get right into it, Dietz.
Yeah, let's go with just the best receiver in football, Justin Jefferson, getting plus money. Sometimes you don't have to overthink this, Josh. And you coming off of a bad offensive game for the Vikings, what's the first thing you do if you have a bad offensive game? Hey, how do we make sure that we get Justin Jefferson the ball more? Hey, what can we do to give JJ some looks? And I'd imagine that Justin Jefferson, who can score from any yard line on the field, is going to get a lot of good looks here this week. So I'm in on Justin Jefferson. I'm getting the plus money. That's a rarity. We rode the Amon-Ra St. Brown train as long as we could. I still think he probably gets in, but at the negative number, I'm not playing it. So Justin Jefferson at plus 110, at least as I saw it earlier. I'm digging it. And Chicago, say what you will. I like a lot of the things their defense does. And obviously they have a great corner. Like all of these things helping you out with the odds. Ultimately, Jefferson, not a big touchdown guy so far, but I think that they just have to look his way in this game. And whether that be from 40, 50, 70 yards out or one, I think Justin Jefferson gets the looks. They funnel him the ball, and he gets a touchdown. I'm going to take the plus money for the best receiver in football.
Definitely still should have that moniker. What do you do with what do you make of Jalen Johnson as, what do you want to call him, like a top 5 cornerback in the league?
He's an outstanding corner.
Does he shadow? Is he going to shadow J-Jets?
That's a great question. I don't actually know the answer to that. It doesn't matter to me, though, because it doesn't matter how good of a corner you have when you are as good as Justin Jefferson. That's a very limited, it does not matter who you put on Jamar Chase. Like, he is that good. It does not matter who you put on Justin Jefferson. He is that good.
Yeah.
Like, it does not matter. Agreed. And ultimately, it's totally demoralizing when you have a player like Johnson and, like, this great corner who you want to lock up. The best player. Like, it does not matter. This is an offense-driven league. The rules are predicated to help the offense. Cornerback is a thankless job. There's 4 or 5 guys maybe in the league. Maybe it's just 2 who are good enough. I don't care if it's prime Ty Law, Darrell Revis. Does not matter. Jason Sehorn. Does not matter. You can put anyone you want.
Maybe random quarterbacks from the late 90s. Like,
let's name white corners. That's the new show.
Patrick Surtain Sr. Let's keep it moving though. I like this play a lot. I'll be talking about TJ Hawkinson a little bit because I do like him in this game, but I actually want to see what his tutty's at because that's not where I'm going to save him for some play of pro-ups. But I think the tutty's probably a decent number, and he was doing that a lot. Yeah, plus 340. Both those guys, I'm fine with, because if you think Jay Jets is getting in because he hasn't been getting in as much lately, I'm fine with that. He's still got a good number. I think this might be worth a sprinkle, but this still wasn't my play.
That's definitely worth a sprinkle.
Right? Plus 340. I think he's more back than they're giving him credit for, and this team's a little bit worse against tight ends, too. 10th most yards to the position, but we'll talk about that more in a little bit. I'm going to go over to this Tampa Bay Buccaneers game against the kids, New York Giants. Yeah. And here's the thing. It's Bucky Irving or it's Rashad White for me. And we're getting a bit better number with Rashad White. And the thing that stuck out to me, and the reason I'm taking Rashad White to make that super official, is he actually got 100% of the looks inside of 10 yards last week. He's been the one getting the ball a little bit more on the inside. We're up to 4 games in a row, 5 tutties in his last 4. And this number is plus 150. Good. I thought it said plus 120. I can still get plus 150 for him. I'll take plus 150. I will take this down to
Well, it
plus
is 120 at DraftKings now.
on DK, yeah. And I would take this down to plus 120, so you can still get it there, and it's worth it to me. But if you can get 365 or Caesars for plus 150, then I think you got to do that for Rashad. Like, this Giants team,
it's a great play.
Is bad, yeah. And I think it's a little better than Bucky. Do you have any opinions on the difference between those two? Obviously, Bucky's been the runner, but also
I had a lot of concern about Bucky going into this. I didn't like any of the numbers, given that this is still a split backfield.
Yeah,
and that, as you said, they seem to be trusting White more. I wasn't sure what the total circumstances were on that, but like, I just don't. Bucky I saw it at 110.
Yeah.
Real quickly, like that's off to me.
Right.
That doesn't seem right for somebody who, at least when I'm watching, and I did not take a deep look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They were bye, and then they played the Niners before that. So like, that was a weird game, and I can't get a read on them, and so I just stayed away from it.
Yeah.
I like that Rashad White number was interesting.
Yeah.
I was unaware that he had been on such a touchdown run.
Same.
And clearly Todd Bowles is not willing to go. I can tell you this. Bucky Irving is unquestionably a better running back. Anyone who watches him play, you go, oh, that guy's the truth. Todd Bowles does not agree. So if the market is going to reflect something antithetical to the head coach's belief in a player, I think that number does speak to a discordance. Like, I'm in. It might be a 1 week thing, but I'm in.
Yeah, in this moment in time, we can just say, like you said, the books are off. And so if we think they're off enough, it's off more for Rashad White. So I like that number for him.
That's a good call.
Let's get to your second tutty here.
Okay, so the Indianapolis Colts, I like a lot of what the Colts are doing. I think that they're probably going to be a team to be discussed down the stretch here. Okay, but they have a defense issue, which is they just give up big plays on big plays on big plays. So I'm looking at a team that just makes big plays after big plays after big plays, and I'm looking for some value. I'm looking at Jameson Williams. Plus 210 is what I saw. We'll see what the markets are showing us right now.
Yeah.
But Jameson Williams, we're talking about 50-yard touchdowns, 40-yard touchdowns. I'm loving the concept of a guy going up against a defense that gives up big chunk yard plays. I'm loving the idea of scheming something up for him, or two, to where he gets into the end zone. Mm-hmm. This is a big-time playmaker. I'm getting 2-1 on him, 2.5 to 1 in some cases against a defense that is begging to give up the 40-yard touchdown. Mm-hmm. So that's where I'm at. It really is quite as simple as we had to move off of Amon-Ra St. Brown because the number's not good anymore. Right. Where else do I want to sprinkle it? Because I want me some Detroit Lions on this ticket. Jameson Williams still getting incredible value here. Yep. And it's not as if they're not going to be throwing the ball. And it's not as if the Colts are very good at stopping this sort of thing. So I'm betting on Ben Johnson. I'm betting on Jameson Williams. I'm taking that saucy number.
I like it. Yeah, no minus numbers here for a wide receiver touchdown for these guys. So I'm appreciative of that. And I think the thing about Jameson Williams is the numbers that matter are not how often is he targeted in the red zone. The numbers that matter are how porous is this defensive backfield? How bad at tackling is it to that point? And that's when you see missed tackles for a team, and then you see big yards next to giving up and explosive plays allowed. Yeah, you're in a good spot to back somebody like Jameson Williams. I like him to break one here as well. So I think that's a good look. My second tutty play, I'm gonna go back over. I was gonna take a Baker Mayfield rushing tutty. I'm gonna be honest with you, but I'm gonna pass on that one. I'm going to go back to Huge. This is something that Huge has done consistently now. Even when he's had bad games, Quinton Johnson here has turned into the number one receiver. And especially in this matchup, this is what I'm looking at.
Not Lad McConkey? Is it not?
So I should be more specific. And this is what I was going to say that I was looking at for this game, is that if you look at the outside, that's where the Ravens are even more vulnerable. So McConkey's at 70. He's like 70 yards. He's going to be in the slot. That's not where you attack. You basically, if you look at the cornerback for the Ravens that I was looking at, Brandon Stevens. I didn't write his name down for some reason. Brandon Stevens has the most pass complete or attempts against him. Not necessarily entirely his fault. His team is winning. They're a pass funnel, so there's going to be a lot of passes thrown against him. But with that in mind, you've got somebody on the outside. That's where they're being targeted.
Yeah.
Huge is the man at this point. You got Ladd in the slot. And so I just like him on the outside for the yards especially. But the tutty as well is something that he's been doing consistently, like I said. And I still almost get 2-1. 3 games in a row, a good amount of red zone targets as well over this time frame here. Well, he had 4 total in the last 3, but he's making the most of them. So I'm good with that with Herbert, the way they're moving the ball.
Plus, Ladd has a bit of an injury thing, so I'm not sure how much he's getting in at practice right now.
Yeah.
So you take that into account. Like, who are they looking to all week? They're looking at Quinton. So
shoulder.
Ladd McConkey questionable with the shoulder. So I'm in on this game. I think this game's going to be a blast.
Awesome.
I got to pick in this game a little bit later.
Nice.
I think both quarterbacks are just going to be airing the Jesus out of the ball, and that means Quinton Johnson's going to have himself a day. If the Chargers are going to be in this game, Quinton Johnson has to be a big part of it. Not to say that Ladd McConkey can't get his too.
Yeah.
But again, who have they been looking to? Who have they been building a passing game plan around all week? It can't be Ladd. They don't know if he's playing or not.
Right.
So who do you go to? Quinton Johnson, the guy that, hey, has performed for this team as of late. This is a pretty nice 1-2. As weird as that sounds, I like where the Chargers are at with their 1-2. Crazy. With Johnson and Ladd. So
Crazy.
and Will Dissly, who's been pretty sick at the tight end spot. So
big target for Herbert. Yeah. Herbert's slanging that thing, man. He's come along nicely.
He looks
nicely.
He's got me feeling nicey, Josh.
Right. Like we all just thought that because he had a bum finger and a bum ankle for like 4 weeks in the beginning of the season.
Got the plantar fascia.
Yeah, the plantar fasciitis. All right, let's go to number 3.
It's only possible to say it in a Chicago. My doctor says I got the plantar fasciitis.
Attention, Chicago O'Hare passengers. All right,
moving walkway.
Let's see. Number 3. What do you got?
Yeah, this is the easiest bit of analysis I'll ever have to do. The Dallas Cowboys suck ass.
They are bad.
They're the worst flipping team in football, and I mean that. I think if they played neutral field Jaguars right now, I'd take the Jags. So Dallas sucks, and Brian Robinson is good. So I will take him to score a touchdown in this game because I see no reason outside of Austin Eckler and Jane Daniels keeping it, but they might score touchdowns too. I mean, this isn't a mutually exclusive option.
Right.
Brian Robinson's getting in. He's getting in, and I'm getting it at minus 145. That's what I saw. What numbers are you seeing right now?
Yeah, you can even get about that. Minus 137 is prize picks, but 365 is 138. Minus 145. I mean, yeah.
This is a full unit, a 2-unit bet. Like I would take this thing almost all the way up to minus 200. This should be the number 1 play on the board.
Wow.
And in a world where you're getting Christian McCaffrey at serious negative money, and we'll get into that in a little bit, like the idea that Brian Robinson can be had for, I mean, listen, I'm not arguing that, 37 cents isn't something.
Yeah.
But the fact that you're not paying a serious premium on a Brian Robinson touchdown just seems foolish to me. So I'm in on Robinson. It's really not that complicated. I got him at minus 145. I felt totally fine about that. I don't like playing negative numbers, but on this one, come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
I know. If you've been watching the show this season, you know that Dieter's rarely going to give you a negative number on a tutty. And if you do get one, there's got to be some confidence. One thing I would consider too, if you want to sprinkle, first TD for the man as well as a possibility. I tried that with Kyron Williams last week. It didn't work out. Yeah. But that's not going to dissuade me from taking it for somebody else. He's done it in, I believe, almost more than half the game, like 3/4 of the games that he's played in. He's the first touchdown for this team. It's risky. It's almost unnecessarily risky, but you can put the 0.2 units on it to win one back at plus 450.
I kind of almost dig last touchdown.
The zag, classic zag.
I'm just not even sure. Like, I know that Washington's defense isn't anything to write home about. I get that. But Dallas is so bad.
They're so bad.
And like Trey Lance might be in the game in the second half here. So
last week I was like Trey Lance plus 3,500 for a touchdown. Why not? Like, what are it might be this week more so, but like, why the hell not? Like,
I guess.
It's just like
it's just a depressing situation. I don't care.
Yeah. I mean, not for me. I'm a Giants fan. I love it. So
yeah, like I guess I don't know. I don't want to hear about it. Like I would rather them be aggressively mediocre to the point where we never have to hear about them.
Yeah.
As opposed to now they're just terrible. So it's like, what about Shadur Sanders all the time?
Travis Hunter.
Yeah.
All right. Let me close it out with a man who has not scored a touchdown this season. And when I tell you that, and then I bring up Trey McBride, you're going to be like, I'm sorry.
No.
What? Trey McBride doesn't have a touchdown this season?
The second best tight end in football?
Yeah. Who's the best?
Brock
Bowers? Oh, George Kittle. Okay, so Trey's better than Brock Bowers still, but maybe next season we see
it's very
Brock
close.
Bowers is so fucking good. It's disgusting.
No, there's no question about that. But like Brock Bowers is sick. Trey McBride's out here though, just as a wrecking crew. It's very hard for me to take anybody on a team as bad as the Raiders seriously as the best player in football.
I lied to you. He has a touchdown this season against the Bears.
Yeah, I thought I saw one.
All right, he's got one, but that's still a surprising number for Trey McBride. Is it not?
I'm with you. No, I'll take a touchdown on Trey McBride.
Yeah, so we get 2-1. You know what I did last week that I loved, and you would have loved it, but you obviously couldn't talk because you were dying. Yeah. I took the Houston Texans touchdown, special teams defensive touchdown for 7-1. Wow. Gave that out on the show. That was the peak pick of the show.
That is a saucy play.
But you know where that came from? It came from a similar angle that I'm playing with Trey McBride. The Cowboys had like the third most giveaways in the league. The Texans had like the second most takeaways. Yeah. The Cowboys had not given up a defensive touchdown, a non-offensive touchdown, a non-offensive one, not even special teams. And the Texans hadn't scored a defensive special teams touchdown. Yeah. I was like, something's got to give here, man. And it gave for sure with the fumble recovery. It's a similar play here for McBride. The volume is there. The dude is getting targeted at in the top like 3 percentile or not, well, whatever, 97th percentile.
He can score from anywhere on the field. He's a tight end.
Yeah, he's wide receiver built. He's got the speed and the agility of one, and then he's a big man. So I'm just that simple, right? Like if you put him in this situation too, just looking at the stuff. So he's got the most targets for sure, most red zone targets for sure, and they've been a run heavy team, and we've seen Kyler sort of make a couple big plays that really just kill you if you have bets on other players, because he just gobbles up 70 yards on a drive and gets a tutty, and there goes a lot of our stats. But at this point against the Seahawks, I do think they're going to push more of they're going to sort of push the ball more to the tight end, or at least the middle of the field. We saw Juwan Jennings do this similarly. I almost consider him similar in the routes that he runs to Trey McBride at times. A lot of like slot and then out to the out. It was on the X as well at times, but I think this is a defense that you can take advantage of down the middle of the seams a lot more than anything. And Trey McBride will be the guy to do that.
I'm in. He's outstanding. You're getting 2-1. Don't have to think too hard about that one. That's great value. It will never be that good again. That's it. And people have been asking me, how do you play these touchdowns? How are you calculating odds to make sure you're getting the juice, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Unfortunately, in football, man, it is so matchup based, and you just have to play the number to a degree, because it's worth it to take this. I hit 5 touchdown plays last week. Hit 3 of them, but they're all 2-1 plus 185. So this is how you play. This is EV betting, right? Over time, 100%. You just keep doing it. You bankroll yourself correctly, and you're good to go. So I'm going to close it there with the tutties. We're going to get into the play of props in a separate episode, so make sure you check that one out. Until we see you next, happy betting.